Starting what if in 3, 2, 1. Starting intro in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Maverick Nation. And here, feels like a year. If someone real, is it true? Is it true? One step forward, two steps back, now I'm back. Oh, hello, my wonderful brothers and breast guys of the Maverick Nation. I'm the Russian Maverick, and let's get ready for some more What If Free. Something I've been noticing is that there are some what ifs that I've been seriously just gone way behind. Some have more parts to them than others. In fact, this one already has 5 parts to it. This will be part 6. What if Izuku was Deadpool? And I actually like the way I've been going with this story. I've really been getting to exploring some things. Some very interesting things. And so, if I remember correctly, where we last left off was after the sports festival. And All Might basically just invited, Izuku to basically just go ahead and test himself, see if he was Big 4 material instead of Big 3. Kind of invitation that Izuku likes. Izuku likey. He's thirsty for the challenge. A hungry drag. And so, yeah. That's a thing. How everything would be going? Well, Izuku would be taking his sweet ass time actually getting to UA. Taking his stroll all the way down to the place. I mean, he woke up relatively early, whenever, compared to other mornings that he woke up. You actually woke up relatively early. And so he just decided he was going to take a leisurely stroll down to UA instead of hurrying. He just thought, he would have enough time, so just take a leisurely stroll. And as a special extracurricular activity, it would be the, kind of handicap match, him versus the Big 3. And he actually got word of, he heard word of this whole thing being spread around, And whenever hearing about how it was spreading around, you know, people actually being interested. So basically, all Class 1A and Class 1B, and even general studies, are actually getting in on the action to see what will happen with these three 3 years up against this one first year, in which Izuku actually plans to do something that will blow the minds of, like, everybody out of the water. He's not much sure how much positive press he's gonna get him out of this, but, he never really cared about the positive press. Neither did he really care about the negative press. Izuku's just doing Izuku. And Izuku doing Izuku just turns out to be Deadpool doing Deadpool. Because, now he's kind of the definitive Deadpool of this universe. And so eventually, whenever the extracurricular freaking event, comes whenever it comes time for all that shit, well, Class 1A is situated, Class 1B is situated, and General Studies is situated. They all have their own, seats to watch this little bitty, itty bitty event. And so, yeah. Well, Class 1A is actually noticing something kind of weird. Izuku's missing from the audience. Their fellow classmate, Izuku Midoriya. Why isn't he here? Like, where could he possibly be that would be better than actually watching Deadpool fight it out? All Might kind of does and kind of doesn't know the actual true extent of the truth about Deadpool and Izuku. Well, basically, All Might really doesn't want to admit to anything, really. Not even to making any deals that would, push UA over the edge and over the border and every other thing, every other whatever. All I will really say is that probably has something to do with this. He just has a feeling that it would have something to do with this. It's just something, like, as he would say in a heroic voice, something in my gut, and then he would actually hit an injury and be like, ugh, 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 never mind. His All and Vlad would be like, never mind, are you sure about that, All Might? And Principal Nesu would even be like, yes, are you sure about that, All Might? And, All Might would just be like, I'm gonna be fine. And then something All Might would not expect, Nesu would announce the actual referee to not be Sir Night-Eye like as expected, because Sir Night-Eye, well, has some things that he has to do. And it turns out those things, as Sir Night-Eye is right next to All Might, Sir Night-Eye believed that taking care of All Might took more precedence, than actual the thing. So the actual referee, as just now announced by Principal Nesu himself, will be, All Might's teacher. Gran Torino. And All Might would just be like, oh god, no. And, Gran Torino would be out there and would just be like, where's the other guy? And Netsu would be like, wait, I think it's him right over there. And then all of a sudden, like, freaking crashing through a glass ceiling, like, bam! Like, what's up? And just like, be like, yeah, what did I miss? And it would just, like, Gran Torino would be like, I didn't think it would be a vigilante versus the big three. I thought it was going to be a student from 1A's first year versus the big three. And that's whenever Izuku would have his whole big announcement. Creating a podium out of nothing, and even a microphone out of nothing. Surprising Gran Torino just the little idiot bit. And then he would get up on the podium, and he would have the microphone, and he would be like, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, I'm sure you're all wondering where the hell Izuku Midori is. And why Deadpool is here, even though Izuku Midori was supposed to be the one taking on the big three. Well, you see, that's the big thing. For the big three, only the biggest things. And he would just like yank, yoink. I'm Deadpool. Deadpool is Izuku Midoriya. And everyone would just lose their monkey freaking minds. And, it would just be like, the big three would just be like, okay, well, can we get on with this right now? I mean, like, the two people besides Mirio would just be like, we could honestly care less who you were. We just need to get this over with. And then Mirio would be like, actually, I care a lot about whoever this person is. You are the vigilante hero Deadpool? Izuku Midoriya? And Izuku would just be like, yep, what you gonna do about it? And Gran Torino would be like, that was not the response he expected from this person. Then again, the way this anti-hero slash vigilante hero person Deadpool acts, the way he is, maybe he should have expected this from him. Considering every record that they have, UA has about, the one known as Deadpool, maybe they should have considered this whenever, actually having this happen. But then Deku, Izuku would just break the whole tension entirely and to just turn it into a storm of tension. And we'll just be like, yeah, but I won't be using any of my weapons. Lethal or non-lethal, the only weapons you'll be going up against are these hands, Braun Strowman style, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. For all three of you. And that means including you, Mirio. And Mirio would just be like, oh, someone thinks they're hot shit, don't they? It even kind of pissed Mirio off a little, be like, this guy thinks he's hot shit. He's only a first year. And, well, basically, before the match would actually start, Izuku would just be like, oh, let's do this. And it would be just Mirio's 2 third year friends who would go up first, be like, Mario, we got this guy. Mario's like, no, we're supposed to be working as a team. And no, they would just be like, we got this guy, we can do this, we're perfectly fine, we got this. And Aizawa would be like, I don't think I should watch, but part of me actually kind of wants to. You'd be like, I don't actually think I should be like watching, but part of me kind of wants to. And Izuku would just be like I said, you'd only be catching these hands. And so, what I have for you, indeed here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's go. He would just be like, huh? And just speed off towards him and catch one of them off guard. He would catch the girl off guard and sweep her off her feet. And then he would just be like, yeah, no, I'm not interested. And he would just be like, well, time to go around the world in 80 days. For those of you who get that reference, I am very proud of you. He's like, well, time to go around the world in 80 days. And he would just flip her onto her own face. And onto her own ass at the same time. And Gran Torino would be like, how is that physically possible without actually killing her? And then the guy, he would just come up and, Izuku would just be like, oh, so we have a next contestant. Oh, so we have a wise guy here. We have a, oh, Sang. We have a wise guy. We have a little of a peddler here. We got a little bit of something. We got a little bit of a wise guy. And, he would kind of confuse this person, and Izuku would just go like, now, he would just grab a can of spinach that just came out of nowhere, and just be like, oh. And then this random theme music would just start playing. It's like, Popeye the Sailor Man. And then all of a sudden, boom, 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 boom. And the guy would just get knocked out. And Izuku would just say, call me Popeye the Sailor Man. And feel free to bring out the olive oil. I went into an accent, yes I did. I don't know which accent this is, but I did indeed went into an accent, I did. And Mirio would just be like, oh good god, this guy is freaking insane. And he has literal boundless powers, because literally nothing he's doing is making sense at all. And so Mirio would just accept the fact that he has to, tango with this person. And Izuku would be like, well, here we go. And he would just put the mask back on and be like, now, how would you like your ass kicking today? And Mirio would be like, ha ha, very funny. I'm rolling over in laughter. And then Izuku would just be all actually serious and like, you're about to be rolling over in dog shit, coming out your own ass through your own teeth. In a few seconds, getting smart with me. And, Mirio would be like, huh? And, just another quick swerve. Like a very, unexpected turn of events. as Izuku would just and like, all of a sudden there would be like freaking Muriel wouldn't know what to do because literally he would have just turned invisible. And so Muriel would activate his permeation and go under the ground. However, it does indeed seem that Izuku can stay invisible far longer than Muriel can stop breathing. And so Muriel has to come up eventually, and then bing! Izuku is automatically behind him, and, pulls him in for a German suplex. Chris Benoit style. And Muriel would just be like, what? What are you? How'd you do that? And Izuku's just like, well, I guess I just stayed in my own head for a while. Waited for you to cop out. Crap out of your own quirk. You don't really seem to have trained it all that well if you crapped out of it that early in. I mean, come on, that's just pathetic. And then Mirio would just be like, you want to say that to my face? And then Izuku would be like, I kind of already am, dumbass. And then Mirio would just go after him and be like, I'm going to make you eat those words. And he'd be like, huh. And automatically, Izuku would just basically be like, yeah, no. Boop. And then just send Mirio's face into the ground. I almost said Miracle there. And then, Izuku would just grab Mirio and, look him dead in the eyes and be like, dude, you are absolutely pathetic. Waste of space. And, Izuku would just be like, pathetic, waste of space, waste of a third year. You don't even deserve to become a hero. At least I'm honest with what my own intentions are. Whenever they're actually brought up to the case, if you know what I mean. I don't try to hide anything from anybody. I'm my own person, and I decide my own destiny. And my own destiny is going to be whatever the hell I want it to be, and no one else can decide it for me. No one, no matter how much authority they think they have over me, are ever going to be able to touch me. That is, unless I feel like having a kinky night with a big bunch of suck loser who thinks that they're hot shit. Kind of like you. Only you're actually kind of worse than that. Actually, really a lot worse than that now that I think about it. You literally look like All Might 2.0 with the way you're dressed and the way you style your hair. You literally are like a cheap-ass dollar store version of the real thing. You don't even deserve to be given that luxury. I mean, if you're so desperate, then why don't you just, call a guy up and see if he has a spare bed? Or is that kind of a kinky kind of guy? Because any other way you want to spin it, I'm just that kind of guy. Can't help it. That's just who I am. That's just how I be. And Mario would just be like, so, it's Just like that. You're just going to give up on fighting me, just like that. And then Izuku would be like, this guy's gonna get himself killed. But if he's that willing to still go on, even after I've damn well proved that anything he could ever try to do to me is damn near useless, if he's willing to be that kind of guy, I guess he deserves what he gets. So, as per usual, whenever I come across your type person, I dispose of them accordingly. And Mario would be like, what do you mean dispose? And then he'd be cut off by Izuku disappearing and then reappearing behind him, giving a good old neck chop, and then putting him in a full Nelson and fireman's carry, and then into a DDT. Just flip-flopping him all around, right into like a smack over the head. And so, yeah, he would have just rocked Mirio's world. Just how much of a savage he was. He did not pull any punches. And Izuku would just be like, I don't care what your opinion is of me after that. I have honestly never cared about anyone's opinion of me. It's only something that will slow you down. Besides, if we're all gonna be heroes, I don't think we would really have any time to be caring about others' opinions of us. We're here to be the ones doing the saving, not the ones needing to be saved from our own opinion of ourselves. I mean, come on, how idiotic can you possibly be? And so, Izuku would have just set an example of just how much of an ultimate badass he was. Like, just, not only did he trash talk Mirio, but he whipped his ass. Oh, and also his buddies. Yeah, they are gonna need to go to the, emergency room, because of just how bad they got whipped. But Mirio, he got the special treatment. He just got completely filet mignon, freaking into, basically, it's basically, it's gonna be something like that. Something brutal. Brutality. Like Izuku Midoriya wins brutality and just deal with it. Either deal with it or get the freaky freak out. And so, Izuku would be like, is that it? Is that all that's it? And that's whenever All Might would come up to him and basically just be like, well, actually, the reason why we even did this had you go up against all three of them, just yourself. This special event in which all three of the different classes show up, don't you think that's a little bit peculiar? And Izuku would just be like, oh, I see what you're, whoa. Don't you think you're moving a little bit, fast there, Governor? Commander-in-Chief, Master Chief, Plasma Cannon, shot attack, rack balls of history. But still, though, Giannis wins. And, well, it would just be Just All Might would just up and admit it to him. You know, he sees no other way for it to go than for him to automatically just been given a license. That's whenever Izuku will just go straight up to All Might and tell him he's been doing this shit far before he actually had a license, so he doesn't really see any point in actually getting one. Plus, nobody there is really all that good enough to get him. So, yeah, if they aren't even all that special enough to actually, you know, put up a good fight against him, and he's pretty sure they're not actually going to be able to ever catch him doing illegal vigilante work, as they say, as they would call it. Basically, things like that would happen. It would just be, All Might would just be being told, okay, just like, All Might would just be informed, this guy, legit, I actually wasn't using my brain. This guy, the way he acts, the way he is, he doesn't really actually need a license. Because he's already better than all of us. So, yeah, Izuku would just be like, yeah, I don't really need a license, and I don't really need to come back for the next 2 years. So, yeah, I'm already a hero. Well, technically, no, not really, but I'm not a villain either. I may be super, but I'm not a hero. Because you see, I walk a fine line. This fine line is called the line of the anti-hero. I will break up what I want to break up, and the shit that I want to leave alone, I'll leave alone. For you guys to deal with your own messes. But before anything else, Endeavor of the Todoroki family, I'm going to come after you eventually. One of these days, you won't be so lucky as every other day. And whenever that day comes, I will come after you. So basically, bye, click, and he would have just teleported out of there. The entire event would have been broadcasted, and so they would have even heard the thing about the whole Endeavor bit. And so Endeavor would have just been like this kid thinks he's gonna come after me. I don't know who the hell this kid thinks he is. And it would indeed be a while before everything was finished. With the whole final test exam thing, and the training camp, and the whole overhaul arc, and everything. Well, as that would be going by, turns out the whole League of Villains, the villain for hire thing that they were doing with Otto and Norman, it's been growing in number. You know, it would just be something growing in numbers exponentially. And someone that Izuku would take particular interest in actually getting before they could contract themselves with the League, as a supervillain for hire. Well, someone he would be very interested in, getting his own contract off of with before, that could actually happen, the whole thing with the league. He would get his own contract off of. More or less off of their own dead body. Yes, he would go looking for people who would want this specific person dead. And he would look for the one with the highest price tag. The one who gave him the most moolah. The most bite for his buck. And he would find a certain employer who he would take a liking to. The reason for this being, this certain employer was someone whose name, it's kind of hard not to realize, not to know who this person is, just because of how famous they are for not all the right reasons, but not all the wrong reasons either. They basically, after, ending their own kind of hero career, basically became a sort of villain hitman contractor. And that specific superhero, or, previous superhero, would have been someone who had actually been hiding around, exploring the secret criminal underbelly of, cases and, court cases. Especially ones that have to do with mutants. And, the rights to, live and be just like everybody else that mutants should have. This person who is also a, kill for hire, sort of villain kill for hire, contractor person, very high up in the stocks, very well known, not just for their own career whenever they were a hero, but known because they were a hero who was a part of a team of heroes, them all being mutants as well. She would be a mutant, and all of the others were mutants, and they were led by someone, a certain Professor Xavier. Their team was known as the X-Men. And there basically would have been an old school, an old university type building back then known as Xavier School for the Gifted. And, well, the more Izuku would research up on this person, he would find out their name, Mystique. And, well, he would eventually get in, touch with Mystique. And, he would even be like, and don't try to distort your voice. I'll still be able to figure you out some way or another. In fact, I'm actually a fan of your work. Recent work and previously not as recent work. You are a member of them. The X-Men, all under Professor Xavier, whenever he was still alive, that is. Or at least more alive than he is now, considering his condition. Ah, yes. You are Mystique, if I'm not mistaken. And Mystique would just be like, yes, I'm indeed Mystique, your contractor for the headhunting of this in particular villain. And he would be like, well, get to talking, and I'll get to splurging out on whatever needs to be done. I have all the time in the world, pretty much. No matter how much time you have, I pretty much have all the time that, be able to be compatible with that. Just as long as I'm home before dinner. And Mystique would be like, okay, that's a weird remark to have, but whatever. She would basically just tell Izuku that, well, whoever, they're like Mystique is sending him after. This little headhunting mission, this little villain headhunting mission. The person that Izuku's supposed to be going after, Mystique will basically just be like, I heard you're good with certain things, Mr. Deadpool. Though we mutants, at least those of us that have still stayed together, we all know you as Izuku Midoriya. And Izuku would be like, that's why I need a new certain identification while I'm in this line of work for you guys. You call yourselves... the gift, as in Xavier's skull for the gifted. Well, basically Mystique would be like, how do you know about our name, the gift? And Izuku would just be like, well, first of all, I would need, like I said, I would need sort of a other persona if you're able to figure me out so well. Then again, I'm not exactly all that good at hiding whenever I don't want to hide, am I? And Mystique would just be like, video footage leaked. Everything. Even your distaste for the new one known as Endeavor. And yes, we are known as the Gift. And you will be contracted underneath us. All of us. We'll be keeping an eye on you. Very special, keen eye. Especially a friend. Vision. And Izuku would be like, oh, you guys still have Vision with ya. Oh, I guess you weren't shit-talking. You really will have some eyes on me. If you guys are still working with Vision. Huh. Might just have to be a little bit more careful with the way I operate then. Even underneath you guys. Okay, that's it. Officially stated. I am underneath contract obligation a member of the Gift. Well, as of now. As of just recently, And Mystique would be like, so, you believe it will reap that much benefits in for you? And Izuku would be like, if I didn't think it would, I wouldn't have actually taken up the opportunity. Nah, just kidding with you, Mystique. I like the idea of this whole underground mutant facility of survivors. I like it a lot. Sounds like a pretty good idea. But may I request a little bit of a branch from within the Gift? Something akin to, I don't know if you've ever heard the name before, X-Force? And Mystique would be like, If you're willing up to build it up from the ashes, then yes, we'd willingly be able to branch out as to making a bondage statement with X-Force. And Izuku will be like, well then, I'll officially be making myself the figurehead of X-Force. I already have some people I want to recruit as members. Very loyal members. I mean, if they weren't loyal, I'd have to kill them. Oh, yeah, I would have to kill them if they weren't loyal. Anyways, about this whole offer thing, Mystique. It's who? And Mystique would just be like, originally our plans were someone calls himself Dobby, but after the League's interaction with the Hero Killer, a lot of our plans have changed. The Hero Killer even turned down their offer. And Izuku would just be like, I can see just exactly why. Well then, formerly my job was going to be taking down this Dobby guy, but now you want me going after the Hero Killer, is that straight? Well then, I don't exactly know how I'm going to be able to get through Tartarus so easily. And then Mystique would be like, and that's why we'll have partners to go with you. Yes, Nightcrawler and, as you were speaking of him before, Vision. They will be going with you. And then Izuku would be like, well, can I make one request of my own? And Mystique would be like, I will indeed allow this. And then Izuku would be like, someone who I think would be actually pretty interested in X-Force itself. I heard you'd actually been through a lot of battles alongside the X-Men. Jubilee, you're not very good at hiding. So get your ass out here and up to stat with everything that's been going on. And Mystique would be like, you want Jubilee to come with you. And Jubilee would just be like, me? Go on one of those type missions? And then Izuku would be like, oh, it's nothing special, just Tartarus and killing off the Hero Killer. I mean, if Mystique says it has to be done and it brings dough to the table, my and my mother's table, especially mine and my mother's table, it will indeed have to be done. After all, I have officially made myself a part of this little gang you have going on. The gift that you call yourselves. I basically contractually obligated myself to be one with the gift, while also finding myself to be part of something of a founding fathership of the new and improved X-Force. And Jubilee would just be like, well, okay, what about the others going with us? And that's whenever Vision would just pop out of nowhere, scaring Jubilee half to death. And then Nightcrawler would kind of just start to slowly, bit by bit, start to come out of the shadows. And he would be like, see, that's why they're useful. They're pretty damn good at making a good entrance and exit at the same time. Knew I picked the right people for the job. And as for you, Jubilee, until further notice, you'll be the distraction that we would need. Vision, you'll be checking up on security of Tartarus, making sure that by breaking out Stain, we don't break out anyone else. And as for you, Nightcrawler, if anyone does seem to figure out about anything of our plan, you take them out post haste. Kill them, leave them alive, I don't care, just as long as there are no actual witnesses. If you can take them out that fast that they don't actually witness anything, I'll be perfectly fine. And then they just get dispatched out, like Nightcrawler, Vision, Jubilee, and Izuku. They all knowing their roles, they go out. Nightcrawler basically just take out any stragglers who might, be a problem. Vision, to make sure security is all taken care of. And Jubilee as the distraction. And, Jubilee does a pretty good job, actually, being a pretty good distraction. And Izuku, communicating with Jubilee would just be like, and that's why I picked you for the job of distraction. Now, on towards Nightcrawler. How you doing, bud? And Nightcrawler would just be like, how do you think I'm doing? There's everyone swimming everywhere. And, Izuku would just be like, calm your tits. Another special request I asked Mystique before we went in dispatch is a new identity to make for myself from the files of, the gift. And something I found while scanning over the files, well, it's not exactly something original, but it will still do. Okay, guys, Wade Wilson, taking off the Band-Aid. You didn't hear that much, guys. And then all the Deadpools would just be like, oh, so unoriginal. It's painful how unoriginal. And he would be like, it's just something that we were able to receive from the files that we were able to skim through. So, yeah. Just hoping we don't have to use any lethal force on, anyone that we don't need to. So, that's a good way to help micromanage things so that we don't have to. And, we would just hook up with Vision. He'd just be like, yo, Vision, what's up? And he would just put the piece on and be like, Vision, how's everything going? And Vision would be like, good and clear. Seems that Nightcrawler's taken away the stragglers and put them somewhere where they won't be able to interrupt much. And no one was actually safely able to activate the alarm to alert the pro heroes. So, well, I guess that is Nightcrawler's job done. And considering all the surveillance, I think the only thing else I have left to do is to hook up to the soul one, the soul cell of the hero killer. I can do it. It will just take some time if I am to do it correctly and not release anyone else. And, Izuku would just be like, sure, take all the time you need. It's not gonna be busting my ass over anything I don't need to be busting my ass over. I mean, come on, man. Be logical here. And Vision is, I'm all about logic whenever it comes to stuff like this. And Izuku would be like, sure you are. And finally, door opening, cell door opening, and Vision would just be like, they weren't even able to tell that that wasn't the correct key. Stain, how would you like to have some fun? And Vision's little shiny little gem on his head, which I believe is the Reality Stone. I don't really know, but he would just have a replacement one that looked close enough, and he'd just be like, how would you like to chase the shiny? And Stain wouldn't really be all that, well and good, so he, would just be like, ready to actually chase after it. Not actually knowing that that's actually not the actual stone. Well, that's good enough for, to just get Stain out in the open enough for Izuku to make a safe attack. And whenever he would come down, he'd just be like, well, Stain, looks like it's your time to fry. As he would basically just lay down a charge of basically nuclear phosphorus. And, race around Stain until Stain eventually realized he was being strapped to the charge of nuclear phosphorus. And that's eventually Izuku would be like, guys, the plan was made. Everyone get the hell out. GG no re. And basically it'd be like, guys, everything is good and gone. Now we need to get the hell out of here, GG no re style. And, Nightcrawler would just be like, right behind you. And Vision would be like, still looking for scans of Miss Jubilee. He'd be like, scans found. She's still alright. And then Nightcrawler would just be like, phew. And Izuku would be like, dude, not cool. And Nightcrawler would be like, what do you mean, not cool? And this would be as they were racing away from the explosion like Indiana Jones up in this house. And Nightcrawler would just be like, what do you mean not cool? And Izuku would be like, there wasn't just one solid reason why I had Jubilee out here. On this mission with us. And Nightcrawler would just be like, you cannot be serious. And Izuku would be like, actually, I am. And to make everyone fully informed on just how claimed I have her, this wouldn't actually be the first time that we'd be starting out. Because we aren't starting out. We've already been at it for quite some time. The whole grind machine. getting situated for the moment. And I am drawing ever closer, ever so nearer to the moment in which I will make her mine. And, well, Nightcrawler would just be like, damn it. Probably already has her under some sort of spell. Nightcrawler would just be like, I really wanted that. And Vision would be like, why? She's like, literally, why? I mean, literally. Do you even think, Nightcrawler? Do you even think? Before you, start thinking with. And Nightcrawler would just be like, dude, I don't need to be hurt any more than I've already been hurt. And Izuku would be like, Jesus, shots fired. I mean, I know, but come on. Really? Ah. Huh. Well, hey, Jubilee, what's up? We're running away from a giant explosion. And, well, everybody would be on the old chopper and be going back to the hideout of the gift. Jubilee would be like, a little after they had made their whole mission, everything clear, everything was done just exactly how you wanted it done. So yeah, where's the money? And Mystique would be like, here you go. And Izuku would just be like, oh, yeah, that's the good shit. Izuku would be out and he would just be carrying the money away. And then all of a sudden, the next thing Jubilee would know, she would be being carried away right next to the money over Izuku's shoulder. One shoulder would have some bags of money over it, and the other shoulder would have Jubilee over it. And Jubilee would be like, not really trying to fight it, because she'd already been, she already kind of gets Izuku. Because yes, that is indeed what I am trying to come across with. The fact that, well, basically, everything Izuku said to Nightcrawler, this isn't Jubilee's first rodeo with Izuku. And I mean, what I mean by first rodeo, this isn't the first time they've met. And this isn't really the first time that he's held her like this. Jubilee has actually kind of got a little bit used to it. To the point where she kind of prefers this. Just and it always happens whenever, right before he's about to splurge within the manly urges. Well, he always keeps on getting interrupted. Hopefully, now that they have all this money, nobody will be able to interrupt them. And whenever all this money is set down in front of Inko would just be literally stunned. And so there would be no interruption. And the urges would come to the surface. And Jubilee would notice this. And she'd be like, well, if you're ready, let's get on with it then. And Izuku would be like, well, you're my kind of cougar. Kinky shit, you know what I mean? And Jubilee would just be like, oh yeah, of course, I know what you mean. Oh, You are some sort of special spiritual animal yourself, you know that? I could have died of frost out there in the cold, you know? But now I'm warm, safe in your arms. I could always be as long as you're around, like you say. Like, you never let me go once you had me. Once you said you claimed me. Like those special type of anime waifus you said. And Izuku would be like, oh yeah, anime waifus up the ass. Like, oh, that's some real slick shit. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, Jubilee, you're about to feel some continental level shit. And Jubilee would be like, but I thought I was the Kruger. And first of all, Izuku would be like, first of all, I said cougar, not Kruger. You don't have, like, finger knives last time I checked. Otherwise, I'd actually be, like, concerned you putting your hand where you're putting it, and your other hand where you're putting it. Oh, oh, it's only making it. Oh, I'm gonna make you mine. Going continental up in this shit. Oh, it's time to drop the bass. Get it on. Oh, let's go 360. Oh. And just all throughout the night, like whenever Izuku was finally done, just plowing through, like, thrust and pelvic thrust this shit. Izuku would just be like, oh, that's the pelvic thrust 360. That's the Digimon evolve, like Digivolve level shit. Like that's the real good crack-a-lackin'. Oh, sandwich chimichanga. Knee up in your cheek. You know, he would have just completely destroyed Jubilee's entire, like, virginity. Like, just, it would have been completely destroyed. Any semblance of virginity that Jubilee had. Izuku would have just went to town on it, and he'd just be like, oh, but still remember, it's Wade Wilson. Oh, Wade Wilson. Oh, oh yeah. Out, in, out. And plagiarism. Yes, so they would have been doing it all night, all day, and just all the sounds. And finally, whenever it was all done, Izuku, basically got back into his, normal clothes. He would just be like, damn it, Jubilee has to be back at, well, you know, the gift base. I'm actually given free roam as permission as from, Mystique herself, permission as free roam. Oh, getting little Miss Missy here from point A to point B without this looking weird is gonna be a mission within itself. But hey, No trouble without no paradise. No paradise without no trouble. And that's where the American muscle comes in. Or at least where it would come in if I was American. But hey, let's Yankee Doodle Dandy the shit up into the freaking bars of the Hussars. Let's get going. Let's go. And Izuku would end up taking, Jubilee back to the whole, the case, the whole gift base. So I'm going to call them gift bases because it's the base of the gift, but there's more than one. So gift base. She would take her back to the main one and would even plop her in her bed in her room and, just be a real sweet guy. Just be like, even though I destroyed your freaking virginity so hard. And that was something the passing Nightcrawler, just passing by in the hallways, did not need to hear. Because now he knows, oh god, Izuku's here. And what, did he just say something about destroying Jubilee's virginity? Oh my god. And Vision would just be like, of course they were going to do it eventually. I am Vision after all. And Nightcrawler would just be like, so what, you could foresee that happening? Why didn't you say anything? Thought we were friends. And Vision would just be like, trust me, it's a lot better if you never see anything to do with that. Let's just say, safely say that he went 8th gate Kaioken times unreadable number on her virginity, like previously stated. And 8th gates Kaioken, times anything, on her virginity. It's like, Nightcrawler would just be like, I really need to find another woman. Really need to either get me with Mystique, or we need to elect another member for the gift. Like, find another previous ex-woman, if you know what I mean. And really fast, because I have some... Oh, I cannot believe this shit. And Vision would just be like, something tells me that to just hear you shut up, Mystique would do exactly that. And that's whenever Mystique would call both Vision and Nightcrawler into her office and say, good on us all, because we getting a new member. We getting someone, apparently they're related to Colossus. You guys remember her? Magic? And Vision would be like, oh god, Nightcrawler, please no. And Nightcrawler would just be like, hey, can't hurt to try. And Vision is like, did you just forget all of that part about being related to Colossus? Oh, powers of Vision, please guide me. Guide me in the right direction. And so, yeah, that would happen. And Mystique would be like, Vision, please get the hell out of my office. Oh, and about Wade, our little Wadey boy. it's going to be a while before I have anything big enough of a contract kill for him to be satisfied. I mean, if that's how he goes for all of his lower tier kills, yes, he legit considered killing the hero killer a lower tier kill. Well, then again, considering he is, well, whatever I was sensing off of him, I don't know what it was, but it just tells me that until we get something to where we can give him a better amount of funding for his own services on a next mission, well, I think you know. And, Vision will just be like, so he's looking for real explosive sorts of things. Hard hits. He's not one to stay in the shadows. He wants to hit hard, and he wants to deal that hard blow fast. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. He does indeed sound like a very tough business partner. Mystique, are you sure you're willing to go with this? Mystique is like, obligated by contract. So kinda am being put in the position of kinda have to, in a way, in a weird, freaky deaky shit kind of way like that. If you know what I mean, Vision. And Vision would just be like, oh, it's that kind of thing. Well then, I wish you the best of luck trying to actually pay out of pocket what it will actually take to get him to kill someone else for us. Seeing as it seems like those are the only missions that he'll actually take. Mercenary work. He said we could call him Wade, and that everyone else, whoever else to know, just Deadpool. So yeah, basically all of the members of the Gift, basically he gave them, Izuku gave them permission to call him Wade, as a little nod to Deadpool's actual real name, Wade Wilson. He felt he kind of needed a little bit of a team code name, for, people already kind of, contracted in on this whole thing, the Gift, to call him. Instead of Deadpool, they could call him Wade. And if they really wanted to be touchy, Wade Wilson, if he thought, he should let them. If he thought they deserved to be, allowed to call him Wade Wilson. But for now, Wade, it's Wade. And that is indeed where I will be ending off this part 6 of What If Izuku Was Deadpool. So Alan Dawson's Dark Shadow Maverick is OUT out of here. Hey boys, bye. Like, favorite, subscribe, and leave something in the comments section. As long as it isn't toxic as all friggin' hell. Just let's do this shit. Bye.